This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, online dispatchers and logistics team, to a light introduction to dispatching. Most of you who are watching this will have had an interest or shown interest in getting started from home in a career doing dispatching and learning logistics overall. So we're wanting to put together more or less how to get started, what it means to be a dispatcher. We have got Lori Farmer with us today to help us understand the meaning behind it, the definition behind it, and what it is that we would be doing in this new career path. So Lori, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so you want to be a dispatcher. Well, what we're going to discuss today is the basics, kind of like an overview of what dispatching is, what you can expect. So, we're going to define dispatching for you. We're going to talk about what your role will be as a dispatcher, the required skills that you're going to have, and then the benefits to your owner operator for hiring a dispatcher. So basically, we're going to discuss your market. So, first of all, what a dispatcher is a dispatcher is any individual that basically helps move freight. A trucking dispatcher coordinates the loads that have to go from point A to point B. They're different than a broker because a broker is goes out and actually finds loads and then posts them on the boards and stuff like that. More of a dispatcher is to find the loads that are available for a specific truck or organization or whatever, and then to actually book that load and go through the process of getting that load assigned to the individual that is ultimately going to deliver the load. So, as a dispatcher, one of the cool things is you're working directly with your drivers. So, that is one of the things that you have to do as a dispatcher. You have to be able to deal with individuals of different backgrounds and different personalities and stuff like that, because as the dispatcher you'll be dealing with the driver, you'll be dealing with the individuals at the warehouse, you'll be dealing with the brokers, you'll be dealing with customers, shippers, all kind of different things that will have to be done. So on a daily basis you must be comfortable dealing with the telephone. This is going to be your tool of trade. If talking on the phone is something that you're not comfortable doing, this will not be a good career choice for you because you spend all of your time on the phone. To be able to do this job, you want to have a specific set of skills that you're good at, but it does not require a degree. You don't have to go to school for a long period of time. It doesn't take a lot to be able to do this, but there are skills that you need to be comfortable with. Part of that would be your computer. You have to be comfortable working with different apps and stuff like that you have, like your load boards and your uh, system that you have for putting your loads in to let your driver know where they're going. You have to be able to track these loads, whether it be on a spreadsheet, whether you're using what they call a TMS, which stands for Transportation Marketing System, if you're using a load planning software, if your customer that you're using, your driver, the owner operator that you're working for has a particular load planning software that they want to use, whatever it is, you have to be comfortable using your computer. You have to be confident in being able to learn new software because there is a possibility that every new client you bring on will have a different procedure that they want you to do. And part of your job will be learning that procedure. So you need to be very comfortable with your computer. You need to have your computer set up. It is preferable to have at least two monitors on your computer at any one time so that you can look at different setups on your screen at the same time. You want to be able to naturally have your load board on one side, and then there are other things that you'll need to look up like maps, schedules, calendars, all kind of things. So you really need to have your computer set up so that you have two monitors if at all possible. It is possible to do this from a laptop or something like that. But if you're going to really do dispatching as a career, you want to make sure that you have things set up so that you can view them easily. And the way that you would do that would be having your dual computer set up with two monitors. Um, your main job, more than anything else on a daily basis, is to help your owner operator find the loads in the area that they're in. So you have to be comfortable with communicating on a regular basis, making sure that your driver is on time to their loads. Is there an issue with the loads? Is there anything going on that you need to find out? So, on a daily basis, the first thing that you will do, your very first thing will be to get hold of any drivers that you have out there and say, hey, where are you? What you doing? How close are we to delivering? If there's an issue, then you need to communicate that with your customers, to their shippers. Is there going to be a load that's going to be late? Is there a delay because of weather? Did your driver have a flat tire? If you're not willing to be available to your driver 24/7, and a lot of people, that's a really hard thing to do. You got family, you got friends, you want to go out, stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, to be a good dispatcher, 24/7 is when you have to be available. Now, you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer 24/7. I do understand that you have to sleep and stuff. But you need to have a way for your driver to get hold of you in the event of an emergency, for a shipper to get hold of you in the event of an emergency. The trucking industry does not work 9 to 5. The trucking industry, you could have a delivery at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your driver could have a delivery at 6 a.m. Your driver could have a delivery on a Saturday or a Sunday. If there's a flat tire, if there's a breakdown, if there's a delay, you have to be available to your driver to be able to take those emergency phone calls. So a cell phone is very important. It's very important that you're contactable on a regular basis. If you are not willing to put in the commitment, then it would be necessary for you to look at some of the other options that we have, like recruiting or something where you're not so time confined. You also are very responsible for servicing those customers, negotiating rates and terms with your clients, understanding the target revenue of your truck per mile that your driver is wanting to make. You want to make sure that you're helping that driver get into areas where they're going to be able to get the higher rates that they want, and keep them out of areas where the trucking rates are less than what your driver is really wanting. You have a target. Usually it's between $2 and $3 a mile that you want for your truck, for every mile that this is what your driver wants for every mile that truck is moving. Your job as dispatcher would be to find the rates and the loads that are going to give them the rate that they want. Now, your driver can do this for themselves, but they're driving a truck. They don't have time to sit there on the load boards and stuff like that. They don't have time to do the research and stuff that's necessary to find out what lanes are good or whatever. Sometimes they don't have internet access that is makes the load boards accessible to them. There are a lot of different reasons why they would use you and your service. The whole purpose of hiring a dispatcher is to make this easier for the drivers and to use your skills in place of theirs. So, um, being available to the driver is one of the things that is going to make you valuable to that driver that you're working with. And I've been doing dispatching and working in logistics for a number of years now, and I can tell you that it's not every day that things happen, but there are times that things happen at 2 o'clock in the morning. So your cell phone will need to be available to you so that your driver can get hold of you. Um, when you're offering these services to your driver or to your owner operator, one of the main benefits more than anything else is the fact that you're that back end person that's going to make sure that their paperwork gets turned in, that their billing is going to be taken care of, that, things get submitted. And it's not so much that you're going to handle the money for them, but the paperwork is important and they don't get paid if things don't get turned in. So you have to make sure that once all that documentation comes in, that it's sent to the broker or the shipper or whatever. So that's another thing that you have to be comfortable doing, is getting this stuff uploaded. There's a lot to dispatching. It's a lot more than just going on a load board and, oh, there's a load going ABC. You have to put all the pieces together to be able to do dispatching as a career. So, over the next few weeks, we are going to talk to you about the different things that are available. We're going to train you and teach you what it is to be a dispatcher and how to do all of the different sources that you have. We're going to provide you with documentation that you're going to be able to use. We're going to teach you how to bid on projects. We're going to help you with how to set up your office. We're going to help you with business contracts and how to set up those contracts, the laws and regulations that you're going to be going through, required documentation. We're also going to talk about your customer service skills and help you build those up. We're going to help you with building those business relationships that are going to help you to make a paycheck week after week. We're going to talk about time management and stress management, because stress and time are very important. Being able to manage those will keep you from pulling your hair out. We're going to talk about ways that you can find available loads. We're going to talk about freight volume, different types of equipment, owner-operator specialties. We're going to go over with you the hours of service and how that works. We're going to talk to you about finding the right load at the right time. We're going to talk to you about the different zones that are available. What does a zone mean, and how does that affect your driver? You're going to be able, when we get through with this course, you'll be able to plan freight rates and negotiate freight rates with brokers and with shippers. You'll understand what it means to set up what they call round trips. You'll have load resources that you'll be able to go to. We'll also talk to you about booking loads, the booking process, how to credit check your customers, because that is going to be very important for your driver. We're going to talk about specifics of contracts and much, much more. So come and tune in with us. Again, we'll continue working with you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Hey, Lori, just a real couple quick questions. Um,
Sure.
how much can a professional dispatcher expect to earn?
A professional dispatcher is paid based on the amount of freight that they book for the driver. So it's a percentage, and it is realistic to do anywhere from $400 or $500 a week off of a single truck, all the way up to thousands. I mean, there are dispatchers that, because of the fact that you're not limited in the amount that you can make, it's based on getting those good loads for your driver. The sky is really the limit.
Let me ask you this real quick. I know that just from kind of generally looking at average gross miles or gross income for drivers, like for a box truck is usually around 4,000. Semis are typically 6 to 7,000. So their client base, I'm sure, has a big impact on the bottom line. How many drivers do you think that a successful professional dispatcher can handle at any given time?
A lot of times, a dispatcher, and it does depend on how complex some of the loads are. um, Naturally, if there's more involved, like permits and stuff like that, you would be able to do less. But there's no reason why a good dispatcher can't handle between 6 and 10 different trucks a week.
And would you
So if you're
say what would you say the range is that, a new dispatcher would charge versus somebody who's been around 4 or 5 years and has a large book of business? I mean, what can they charge to their drivers for this service?
truck dispatching services have different fee structures that they use, and it would depend on the fee structure that the uh, dispatcher decided to ultimately go with. Some dispatching companies charge a single flat rate for finding a particular load, all the way up to a percentage, and the percentage can be as high as 10 to 15%. Um, once a driver, once a dispatcher really is good in the business and has some going. Most of the time, though, a dispatcher would start at 1 to 2%.
Okay. So, and just to kind of give everybody kind of an idea there too, because I've been able to see from my viewpoint all of the ranges, and I've seen upwards of 20% to charge for dispatching. A lot of that really does come with experience. If you have a super highly qualified dispatcher, they tend to go out there and find loads that pay at a higher per mileage rate. So, for example, 85 cents per mile rate is not near as good as a $2 or a $3 or a $4 rate. And so, if that professional is out there using all of the tricks of the trades and a network of business that they have developed over time, they tend to find heavier paying lanes or dedicated freight. And so the percentages that the drivers are willing to pay because of that activity or access is much greater. So that's good to know. Two quick questions.
Absolutely.
How long will it take a dispatcher to learn enough to book their first load in this program?
The cool thing about working from home is that doing this kind of dispatching is you can pretty much get started with just very basic knowledge. So it is possible within your first week to be booking a load for a driver and finding your customers. You can start finding your customers as early as the first week that you start. Now, I would make sure that I had knowledge of the laws, the rules, and regulations that your driver needs to go through. Have a packet of a contract, a some negotiating and stuff. But you can hit the ground running with this pretty quickly once you learn the basics. So it
Awesome.
would depend on the individual, but there's no reason why you can't start within your first week or two of getting started.
Okay, so the last question I have with this program, obviously there is some ties to Catalyst in that there's ongoing business being conducted, whether it's dispatching or recruiting or processing or even the sales side of getting new carriers. But how about support? If I'm a new dispatcher and I'm wanting to start a career and I pay for this program, how much support is there for me as a dispatcher as I'm getting started and even after I'm, out there on my own?
Oh my goodness. One of the great things about working with Catalyst is that you have an entire network of support. There's going to be an ability to chat with a professional that has been doing this and get your questions answered from the beginning all the way through. And that support will not stop because you graduate from the program. You're going to get help with your paperwork. One of the, I mean, awesome things about this program is you're not starting from scratch. We already have the documentation that you need, the contracts that you need, the training that you need, the support that you need. The setup is there. We can even help you with finding your customers and stuff like that to get started. So the support that you're going to get by signing up with Catalyst and staying a part of Catalyst is huge, more so than some of the other programs that you find out there. This is not a you pay your money and then you're on your own type situation.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. So that's basically it, folks. We wanted to give you more or less an introduction into, really this program and what it will take, what you can expect from it, what's to come. What you will find now is a series of broken down subject matter where we're going to go and dive really deep into everything from load board access to the types of contracts and paperwork that's necessary to the how-to of all aspects of the game. We appreciate you logging in or tuning in. We'll see you on the next video. Have a good day.